Welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D collective, and all those who are new. If you haven't tuned in to our previous episodes, you might want to. This lovely full moon for our 5D collective, the soul and or self themes and love is still what we're looking at, and also vulnerability in relationships and the empowered feminines and masculines. So with that, we choose love, we choose vulnerability because really, why would we not? So the essence, you can't build a truly loving relationship if you can't speak the truth because of fear of rejection or abandonment or any of that which is not a healed childhood trauma stuff and trust breaking one and what's not. You are just fooling yourself and other, and those are the emotionally unavailable people of 3D 4D land. So what you want to understand is learn to speak from your heart and don't be afraid to be yourself, which is what we get to be here because the 5D collective are the true lovers as we anchor in the truth because it is clear of pain. Our love accepts all and rejects none. We are aware of all that is. We are aware of the sacred breath and force that surrounds us and that asks nothing for us in return. We are aware of the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers of the bondedness it is with loving cosmic forces. So it's bonded together, the heart of the sky, source, God, universe, Holy Spirit, Reiki, all of it. Spirituality is where we're at. The 5D ascension energies is what we're talking about. Full moon for the 5D collective is words, Christ consciousness, oneness consciousness, integrated brains. Restorative embodiment is why we feel the sacred force around us, and that is why we know about the bonded together by loving cosmic forces of this infinite cosmic sky that quantum physicists looked into, and we don't really need to be specifying it in one or two or three because that's only people who don't use two sides of their brain. That's confusing shit. I'm not confusing anything. The thread to your vessel, it is your heart, and a heart that is open to the truth of you as a part of all that is, and that gets to share life with a whole self or whole soul self in relationship with true love. So you're in a relationship, or you're about to be, because some of you, this is the part of the full moon. The new moon already told you, the full moon repeated it. And what I can tell any person is that actively, as that phone rings, confirmation for it is that moment of truth. Are you going to take the leap and actively allow yourself to emotionally make a move to share the depth and the availability of you with whoever it is that you have spotted as stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, and just as empowered as you. So in our previous episode, it was about the self-empowered feminine. She chooses love. She chooses vulnerability. She chooses an empowered, authentic masculine and or masculines until we realize that no, you will know if it's an authentic, empowered masculine in time. So this is the thing. In time, feminine is always shown that time will let you in on if you are building a vulnerable, authentic, genuine, secure attachment connection, as we will recalibrate. The self-empowered, enlightened feminine recalibrates. That's because we're non-reactive. So that state of safety is what we know because we know the restorative embodiment, the self-aware, accountable, regulating, integrated brain. So inner growth mindset and mindset and mindfulness practices. That's what I'm here for when it comes to the tears and the mentorship. The stories are, I'm self-empowered. I'm Maria. I don't have an issue with loving, and I don't have an issue with being vulnerable. In fact, I, to this day, as a 44-year-old woman, have grown more enamored with love, not less. The part of having the authentic, empowered masculine is what I look to spot, and the 5D collective is only here because of the one, good therapist, good scientist, who enable any person who wants to heal their trauma to go to them. And then, of course, there's a series of, pieces of information that one could bring forth. But here's what I'm going to give you from my subjective spiritual journey. Since 2007, I've been a mystic with clairs. I begin my journey with Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit. I know blind faith. It's why I don't have questions when I get the download. My gut tells me, and I don't explain it to anybody because I don't need to. When I come and channel, it's food for thought, and it's also just for those who are 5D again, they will know who they are because I already know that you will know who you are, because I'm not actively engaging with a community that isn't smart, is how I have to put it. And that's from the mystic perspective that I'm talking about. Sciences, they will find us interesting when they're open to, they might be here by chance. So basically, I try to allow my content to be for all, but I definitely know that self-help and pseudoscience lady is not going to be something that navigates to the ears of a mathematician. You know what I mean? Mathematician is going to be a lot more technical. I'm not technical, even though some will say I'm technical. But long story short, empowered feminines, they know what love is. So we know what an empowered masculine looks like because we will recognize that they have a feminine, and then we'll know when they're not. So inconsistency is very disappointing, and the only reason a feminine will assume that her masculine and or masculines are going to come through is because we actively know they're ours of our oversoul, not ours of our property. And that's it. So the part of disappointment is unfair once an empowered feminine realizes that you don't have an empowered feminine. It's also unfair to distorted feminines, which is why we mind our own business. And so when you meet a vulnerable person, it will be a healthy self-worth person who doesn't think anything of your flaws or her own flaws or his own flaws or their own flaws, and will not be in a state of, oh my God, some shit's going down. As our mental, emotional, and physical planes, we're mastering them by the minute. So that's for my mystics out there. For those of you who are mindfully living and loving, you are not taken off by your decentralization of the self experiences. Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist. So once you're practiced in using thoughts and emotions with mindfulness and mindset skills and mindset with the inner growth, you're able to handle what comes up, because thoughts are thoughts and feelings are feelings. That's the emotional, mental, and physical mastery. Actually, there's also another way this guy puts it. So one, if we can't express or aren't expressing our true feelings, it's not going to be a genuine relationship. You will know if you're empowered anything when somebody's holding back. You leave it alone, because that means that they're emotionally unavailable. The minute I have somebody doing some frequency shit, I'm like, okay, now I try to actually keep myself remembering I need to observe people in their environment and wait till they have good and bad and all those days, so that I can see how they actively will treat me and how they will treat others and how they will come forth, because that's the minute of truth that I know if you own your 3-year-old, because I'll know that you are maintaining a specific level of where are you? There's a very specific video I watched, a little bit of it though, and I wanted to read to you all that one, because he is the emotional intelligence guy. So he was describing the 4 areas of like where you can grow emotional intelligence. And I was like, that's fascinating. More people could do that. And that's in their relationships. So Terry Real, he's great for people who want to actually learn how to be grown-ups together if you need that. When you have, here we go, people who don't know how to come and have a good time in conversation, you're gonna know that Terry Real would be a good option. Okay, so 4 domains of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management. And this is Daniel Goleman. So what I love personally about emotional, mental, and physical intelligence as an empowered, mystic, feminine, is that you consistently learn how to be more of yourself. So you don't manage who you are. You allow yourself to be seen for who you are, and then you wait to see how you get welcomed or not. And so the fun part is the unknown. Otherwise, I mean, what else is there? And here's, again, empowered women, men, or theys won't be afraid to say, here's who I am. As you welcome yourself and completely Anytime somebody is going to throw something at you, which means they reject who you are, whether it's disgust, whatever it is, it's not yours. It's their personal, subjective opinion and feeling about something that is a personality trait that if you haven't touched them physically, you've done nothing. If you've spoken words, then they will have corrected you and or taken offense, which you can say, I'm so sorry for. Pretty much that's about it. And that's, and again, a social. If I'm doing work-wise, that's actually a lot more important for me to master how to handle myself with my nervous system and be able to, stand in eustress and be able and participate from all that emotional intelligence that Daniel Goleman talks about. So that's where relationship management comes into the mix, and the other social management, because now I'm actively in a role. So see, for me, I don't have those roles because I work with my online marketing clients one-to-one as an online entrepreneur, and then I work with my community. And so it's a very informal and very loving and very well accepting environment that I have created. But if you go to a corporate environment, people from those spheres look for emotional intelligence with those specific criteria, and they're then presented with, anyways, that's a side note because that's not part of our conversation. The full moon is bringing the opportunity for something very easy. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. Love may tap you on the shoulder on some starless night. You may just want to hold her, him, or they, and now you have a pocket full of starlight. And you have the starlight for rough days as well. That is what feminine and masculine empowered bring to each other is one, I'm going to share my soul, myself, my heart with you, with the complete nakedness of who I am. That is a gift. When I was presented, like I said, that gift again, I remember very clearly. I knew immediately what I was being presented. And it took me, what was it? I contemplated it maybe for a day or just, I don't remember specifics, but I'm like, what are you doing? You know what this is, you know why, and you know how amazing it is, so what are you doing? There's no reason for this. It's a very straightforward equation for emotionally, mentally, and physically empowered feminines or masculines that are empowered. It means you know how to be yourself with flaws and integrity, and to say, of course, it is going to be a yes or no. But if I don't even do it, I didn't do anything. And the no action, no activity is why people live their entire life and then they begin building a bunch of things that they regret never having done. Do you know how sad that is? You know how many people that as I get older begin to do that thing? I'm 44, so I feel young, but I know I'm getting older. And it's when people are bringing up things that I notice that they are not in the same spots that those of us who are emotionally, mentally, and physically present with our lives. Okay, so vulnerability in relationships and love. The feminine and masculine complement each other, and the empowered, emotionally and mentally and physically mature people will bring in romance and life partnership, and it's on a high. And those of you who are part of the 5D collective, as I've been channeling again, you're being basically time to speak up. Somewhere, someone, some of you, whoever it resonates with. You take what resonates, you leave what doesn't. And in the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful full moon.